what, and a big warm welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're all doing well. Today we have another midwifery related video and we have a Q&A. I popped up on my Instagram, which is at Midwife Diaries. If you don't know, it is linked in the description bar. I put up a little questions thing on there if you guys had any questions, and a lot of you wrote questions in. A lot of them were the same, so I've handpicked out some of my favourite questions and I'm going to be answering them for you today. Like I said at the start of a couple of my midwifery related videos, everything that I talk about is in line with the NMC code on social media, and I do follow all guidance from my placement trust and my university in terms of maintaining confidentiality. So sometimes things I say might be a little bit vague, but that is just to protect my university and the lovely women and families that I interact with. I have my little notebook of notes here so that I don't forget anything. I've written down about 10 questions. I can't count off the top of my head. I've written down about 10 questions and I'm just going to talk through them. And yeah, let's get into today's video. Number one is, what is a typical schedule for a week of placement in the community? So I can't really wholeheartedly vouch for this one because my first placement was with the private midwives, which yes, I'm in the community, but they work very, very differently. But from speaking to my other classmates, normally in the community it is 9 till 5. It's normally Monday to Friday. You don't often do weekend work or clinics. However, you can be on call for home births. You tend to be on call quite often for home births, I have heard. But that is all that I can vouch for because I haven't personally been in that community setting. I haven't got a community placement this year. I imagine it will be next year, so I'll be able to feedback more on that once I've done that. But in terms of working with the private midwives, that was a little bit hit and miss every single day. It depended on what women were booked in for visits. Number two is, what is the best part of being a student midwife? Now, I could say so many different reasons about why I love being a student midwife, but I think the best reason is just that ability you have to have the extra time with the women and their families that when you're a registered midwife you don't always have because you're doing X, Y and Z. Being a student midwife, you really get that extra time to sit down with the families, to talk with them, to build meaningful relationships. And especially when I was in my placement with the private midwives, that is what I loved and that is what I took most from it, was my communication skills, building those relationships with the women and families. And you definitely have such a privileged position to do that as a student midwife. So I'd say that is my favourite part about being a student midwife. Number three is, how do you figure out an answer as to why do you want to be a midwife? So this is a question that they love to ask you at your midwifery interview, and it's not even necessarily to have an answer. There is no right answer in this kind of question. It is one that you literally just speak whatever comes to your mind. I can't even remember what I said on my actual interview. I think for a lot of people it's definitely a passion that you can't actually explain. A lot of people think that they were born to do the profession that they do, and I do wholeheartedly believe that some people are born to do the profession that they are, especially with healthcare. I think it's something that you are just, it's just something that you can't explain and you can't put words on it, and that's absolutely fine. Like, don't think that you have to have a perfectly set out answer for interview, or even when just somebody asks you. I tend to just say that it is a passion that I've always had and I've always wanted to do it, but certain things brought it to light in terms of, say, working in the NHS and things like that. It just kind of brought my passion to light. One thing I would say about answering that question though is try to avoid referencing to things like one born every minute or call the midwife or things like that. So try avoid saying that that's why you want to be a midwife, or try avoid saying things like I want to work with babies and children, because that is not what midwifery is all about. I think I've talked about this in a previous video, but if you are asking about this question in terms of interviews and things like that, make sure that you just speak from the heart, say that it's a passion. Mention anything that kind of brings your passion to light, so the kind of work that you do, your hobbies, anything like that, but just try and avoid midwifery kind of in the media, unless you want to kind of reference books that are really good. So like Birth Like a Feminist, books like that are a really great piece of literature in terms of midwifery, but try avoid one born every minute and saying that you're doing it for the babies. One is, do you have to present in front of the class? So this was actually one of my biggest fears, and I think a lot of people actually fear presentations. I've always feared them. You will definitely have to do presentations in your degree as part of different areas of the degree. We have done a couple of presentations. They've been group presentations, and because of COVID they have been online. It is normal to feel anxious, you know, you're only human, but I think it's important to remember that the people that are around you that you're presenting to, they don't want you to trip up. They're there to support you. Like, judging from watching other people's presentations and the other way around, it doesn't matter if someone stumbles, it doesn't matter if someone says a word incorrectly, like that is not what you're watching it for. I think everybody in our cohort is really, really supportive, and I would hope that that is the same across other midwifery cohorts out there. You're really there supporting one another, and if presenting is one of your fears, it is something that you will definitely find easier as you go on throughout your course, just because you become more exposed to it. I mean, it's not the nicest thing that you have to do. You will have to do it, so I'm not going to say no, you don't have to present. I do think a lot of the time in midwifery degrees there are various things that you have to present and orally discuss. But yeah. Question is, what grades did you get for GCSEs and A-levels? So for my GCSEs, I got 3 A's, 3 B's and 3 C's. Well-rounded. I didn't actually do A-levels. I actually did 2 years of beauty therapy. I did my level 2 and my level 3, and in my level 3, so overall I got a distinction, which was amazing. We did a lot of anatomy and physiology in that as well, which further sparked me wanting to go into midwifery. And then once I'd done that, I did a 2-year qualification, which allowed me to register as a pharmacy technician, which, if you don't know, is something else that I do on the side, and I absolutely love working in pharmacy. I love my role as a technician. So alongside that, I did a pharmaceutical science diploma, I believe it was, and I got a distinction star in that. So yeah, that was brilliant as well. So those are the grades that I kind of got over the things that I have done. If you want more information about how I actually got into midwifery, I have a lengthy sit down video all about how I got into midwifery that I will link at the end of this video. I think it's important to know that everybody has different journeys. I didn't go about it the conventional way. I did not do A-levels or an access course. I went about it a completely different way. So I think it's important to remember that there are so many avenues that you can go down. Like, it's not just one door closes and that is it. Next question is, how do you deal with the constant action, stress and anxiety of the course, especially with your IBS? So in terms of how I deal with the stress of the course, it's a very stressful degree, I'm not going to lie to you. I do have a video on Sunday which is all about how to cope with, you know, the stress of university and how to not feel overwhelmed. I'm going to talk about self-care. I'm going to talk about ways that I bring myself down when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed. I think it's a really important topic to talk about. I definitely feel very overwhelmed a lot of the time with my degree, and I do have to practice self-care and take myself away. So I'm definitely going to be talking about that on Sunday's video. So make sure that you are waiting for that to go live, which will be at 7 PM on Sunday. In terms of my IBS, I don't talk about that too much on this channel. I'm queried IBD as well, so I've just got so many things going on. Anxiety and stress definitely does set off things like IBS. I think the most important thing about that is trying to manage my anxiety and my stress levels. That can kind of bring down the severity of my flare-ups and things like that. So yeah, the things I'm going to be talking about in Sunday's video are really what helped me manage my IBS. Anxiety and stress are my biggest triggers, alongside diet and things, which obviously I just have to self-monitor and self-manage. Making sure that I am trying to keep my anxiety and stress levels as low as possible is another great way to prevent my flare-ups. How am I finding the course so far? Anything I wish I'd known before? So I am absolutely loving my time on the course, I have to say. It is very, very intense. Not that I didn't expect it to be intense, but it is just different to anything I've ever done before. So, you know, at the start, and to be honest, still now, I have teething problems. I get a little bit stressed with how different it is to any kind of learning I've done before, especially with COVID. It does make things harder, but like anything as humans, we do adapt to it, and I am starting to find it a little bit easier. In terms of anything I wish I'd known at the start, that I'm going to be constantly tired, that, you know, the stress comes in fits and bursts. It comes, you feel so overwhelmed, and then it goes away. It just comes and goes, it builds up, and sometimes you don't always have a moment to catch your breath. You think that you've cleared everything and then it all starts again. But I think the most important thing that I've learned so far is I used to think I had to do everything all at the same time. I think it's so important to break it down, to tackle a little bit at a time, take little chunks out of it at a time, and in the end you'll get to the same, you know, to the same end goal. It might take you a little bit longer, but it will definitely save you a lot of the stress that you would have done trying to fit it in, because you have just got so much to do that you can't do it all at the same time. Next one, what challenges have been most difficult? So I've had a few challenges since starting my degree. My health has definitely been one of them. So like I said, I'm under investigation at the minute for IBD, so that has been a bit stressful. I've been in and out of hospital, had a few appointments that I've just had to fit in and around other things. Aside from that, it is definitely feeling overwhelmed with the workload. That was another question in terms of asking about the workload. Yeah, there is a lot of work. There is a lot of work. You have different things for different parts of the course that all come together at the same time. So we have been revising for our anatomy and physiology exam, and a few weeks ago we had 2 presentations within a fortnight that we had to prepare for and present, get feedback on. All of that stuff, it is a lot sometimes. I have a never-ending to-do list of things that I have to do for uni work, but it does come back to what I said before, just about chipping it off every now and then, doing little bits and bobs when you can, making sure that you take time out for things that you enjoy, things that are for yourself and not for university. But that is definitely the challenges that I've had so far, is getting used to the workload, getting used to how I best tackle that workload and just working around my health issues. Next question is, what midwifery topic are you most passionate about? So I don't know if you'd say this is like a topic, but as a whole, I just love being an advocate for women. I love advocating what the woman wants, making sure that, you know, she's correctly given informed consent about everything that is offered to her in her care. Things like breastfeeding, bottle feeding. I want the woman to feel completely comfortable. I want her to feel well supported. I love things like hypnobirthing. I just love anything that empowers women, advocates for women, and that is how I see myself going forward as a midwife. I always want to put the women first, put what they want first. You know, obviously we have to look at the guidelines and what is best medically, but there is also a whole flip side where we look holistically at things. So yeah, in a roundabout way, being an advocate and empowering the women that I am caring for. Next one is, how do you manage your time for uni? I think I might also do another video on this as to how I organise myself, because I'm an organisational freak. So I have endless to-do lists. That is how I find it best to organise my time. I like to write down everything that I've got to do. I split it up into little chunks each day so that it's not overwhelming. I like to tick it off, and it is so satisfying when you tick something off your to-do list, let me tell you. So I best organise myself by breaking it down into little bits, doing a to-do list, have little treats when I've actually done stuff. So if I say, oh, I'm going to do this bit of revision, I'm going to write up these notes, and then once I've done that, I'm going to have a nice pampering bath and I'm going to have a cup of tea. It doesn't have to be massive. Just get a chocolate digestive for doing half an hour of work. If that's what works for you, that is what works for you. It can get overwhelming. Like I've said, the workload is crazy sometimes, but making sure that I stay well organised. I always have a diary, a planner. I'm obsessed with it. I always write down everything in there. Whenever I've got placement shifts, whenever I've got an exam presentation, or I've got any kind of essays, work due, I've always got it written down. I also have my big wall planner by Planner Designs. I'll try and pop up a picture. I think I've posted one before, but Planner Designs have some really, really great products for organisation. They have some great planners and like wall organisers, things like that. So definitely go and check them out. I'll leave their link in the description bar below. They really, really help me stay organised with all their little bits and bobs. Not sponsored, but I just wanted to tell you about them because I think they're a really, really nice small business. Get them on Etsy, get them on their website. It's just brilliant. Check them out for any organisational things. But yeah, definitely you can't organise too much. Diaries, planners, to-do lists. That is how I stay organised. And last but not least is, did you ever consider nursing, or were you set on midwifery? I actually never considered nursing. I did look at physiotherapy randomly. I don't know why. I have no passion in that. I don't even know why I looked at that. But yeah, it is always been midwifery, or I did look at doing a becoming a pharmacist, or an MP Pharm degree, I think that's what it's called. Obviously because I absolutely love pharmacology. Like I said, I have a role in pharmacy currently. I did kind of want to expand on that. If I didn't go into midwifery, I would have probably done that degree. But here we are. This is the life plan that we have gone down. So that is that. Anyway, thank you so much for sending in all of your questions. I really appreciate it. If you didn't get a chance to get involved this time, make sure that you are following my Instagram, which is up here and linked in the description bar below, so that next time I post on my stories to ask for some questions, you can get involved and send in your questions too. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment below, let me know if you have any other questions, let me know what other videos that you want to see. I love to hear from you guys. If you're not already, please do consider clicking on that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. I'm doing many more uploads the month of June because I'm just loving getting this extra content in for you guys, and it's just a little thank you for how supportive you are being. So make sure that your notifications are on so that you don't miss out on when I upload. Like I said, I've got a video going up on Sunday all about coping with stress, anxiety of university, and making sure that you're encompassing self-care and taking time out for you. So a video all about how I do that and try and stay sane during my degree. And another exciting thing, tonight at 8 o'clock I have another giveaway going up on my Instagram, so make sure you head over to there once you've finished this video and don't miss out on entering that giveaway. I'm not going to ruin what it is because you'll see it over on the Instagram, but if you're subscribed and interacting with my YouTube videos, you will also get some extra entries, so make sure that you are doing that before you leave my channel. And with that, I hope you will have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you all in Sunday's video. Take care. Bye guys.